Welcome back to Zack TV. Today, we'll dive into a 2016 sci-fi romance drama film titled Passengers. This is a story about love, survival, and difficult choices in the endless void of space. Warning, spoilers ahead, so watch out. The film begins with the interstellar spaceship Avalon, carrying 5,000 passengers and 258 crew members in hibernation. Their destination, Homestead II, a new colony world, 120 years away from Earth. As the ship travels through space, it passes through an asteroid field. One massive asteroid collides with Avalon, damaging its systems. The ship begins automatic repairs, but the accident causes a single hibernation pod to malfunction. That's how Jim Preston, a mechanical engineer, wakes up 90 years too early. At first, Jim believes it's just a mistake. Automated guides welcome him, explaining he only has a few months left before arrival. But when he reaches the ship's bridge, he realizes the terrible truth. Avalon is still 90 years away from Homestead II. Jim desperately tries to send a message to Earth, but the system informs him a reply would take 55 years. Trapped and alone, Jim begins exploring the ship. He befriends Arthur, a bartender android, but loneliness slowly consumes him. Days turn into months, and depression pushes him toward despair. One day, he notices a passenger in a pod, Aurora Lane, a journalist. He reads her files, watches her video interviews, and falls in love with her. Jim struggles with a moral dilemma: wake her up, condemning her to the same fate, or let her sleep. Eventually, he chooses to wake her. Aurora wakes, just as confused as Jim once was. He hides the truth, telling her it must have been a pod malfunction. Together, they explore the ship, search for solutions, and slowly grow closer. Over time, they fall in love. They share meals, go on dates, and even experience a breathtaking spacewalk together. For a while, life almost feels normal. But the secret can't stay hidden forever. Arthur, the android, innocently reveals that Jim was the one who woke Aurora up. Heartbroken and furious, Aurora feels betrayed. She sees it as the theft of her life and refuses to forgive him. As tensions rise, Avalon begins suffering more severe malfunctions. Doors jam, robots break, and systems fail. That's when a crew member, Chief Gus Mancuso, unexpectedly wakes up. He investigates and confirms Jim's fears. The ship was critically damaged during the asteroid collision. If the problems aren't fixed, all 5,000 sleeping passengers will die. Unfortunately, Gus is fatally ill due to pod failure. Before dying, he gives Jim his ID bracelet, granting him crew access to save the ship. Jim and Aurora, despite their broken trust, must now work together. They discover the ship's reactor is overheating and on the verge of exploding. To save everyone, Jim risks his life by going outside the ship to manually vent the reactor. The plan works, but Jim's tether snaps, leaving him adrift in space. Aurora rushes to save him, pulling him back inside. Barely alive, Jim is resuscitated in the medical pod. It's in this moment Aurora realizes she still loves him. Later, Jim discovers that the medical pod can be reprogrammed into a single hibernation pod. He offers Aurora the chance to go back to sleep and survive the rest of the journey. But Aurora chooses love. She decides to stay awake with Jim, and together they build a life aboard Avalon. 88 years later, when the rest of the passengers awaken, they find the ship transformed, with a garden, a home, and Aurora's final message about the extraordinary life she and Jim shared. Passengers isn't just a sci-fi adventure. It's a story about loneliness, love, moral choices, and the meaning of companionship.